Okay, we're going to solve this Trig equation right here. And part of what this involves is using an identity, which is that cosine 2x is equal to cosine squared x minus sine squared x. So we go ahead and for our solution, we go ahead and put that in there. So this is an identity. It's true for all values of x. So I'm going to get cosine squared x minus sine squared x equals cosine x. Now what I want to do is I want to swap out then this using this other identity. I want to swap out sine squared x from this equation so that I only have cosine. So I'm going to use that sine squared x equals 1 minus cosine squared x. Now the question might come up, well, why did I choose to get rid of sine squared x? And the reason is that I have this cosine x here, and I cannot replace cosine x by anything really. I could do plus or minus square root. It'd be really weird. So it wouldn't come out very well. So this simplifies to cosine squared x minus 1 equals cosine x. And this is a quadratic that involves cosine. And to help us solve this, you can replace for the moment u cosine x by u. And then what I'm going to do is factor and solve for u. And there's not that many choices here because 2 is a prime number, and so it should work out all right. So I get 2u plus 1 is equal to 0. So therefore u is negative 1/2. Or I have that u is equal to 1. So u minus 1 is equal to 0, so u is equal to 1. So what I'm going to do now is come and draw I'm going to go ahead and draw a unit circle to solve this. Sort of thinking I should have used graph paper, but anyway, it's actually not too late. So, yeah, let's just use graph paper. Okay. Okay. So see, when we have u is negative 1/2, I sort of left that too early without finishing. So that means cosine x equals negative 1/2, and u equals 1 means cosine x equals 1. Well, cosine x equals 1 is over here at 0. Cosine 0 is equal to 1. So cosine is the first coordinate and sine is the second coordinate. Now, how can I get negative 1/2? Well, if I just maybe thought a little bit more and drawn my circle better, I would have been able to get this a little bit better. But still, you can see that negative 1/2, if that's the first coordinate, it's going to be like around what I'm showing. We should know that along with 1/2, or negative 1/2 is rad 3 over 2, and negative rad 3 over 2. Why am I putting this where I did? Well, cosine is the first coordinate, and it's negative in quadrants 2 and 3. And then, well, just by the position alone, sitting up where it is, I can see that that's going to be pi over 3 as the reference angle. So therefore, that gives 2/3 pi as one possible answer, as one answer. And the other one is 4/3 pi, because for one guide I can look as pi as 3/3 pi. So by the way, you can also draw a little You can also draw a little reference triangle where you have the adjacent for cosine is 1, hypotenuse 2, and rad 3, and then you get this is 60 degrees. But we want to write our answer in terms of radians because we're looking between 0 and 2 pi. So, well, our answers are then, just as we see over here, 0, 2/3 pi, and 4/3 pi. And, well, it's always embarrassing if I do that wrong, but I think that's about it. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, there you have the whole picture there. Okay, that's all.